Hello, Severi. I hope I pronounced
Oh,
that right. Could you give an
yeah,
introduction about yourself?
yeah. That's close enough. You got it pretty much down to perfection, unless you're
Almost.
not finished. So,
Yeah, I must be finished. There's no other explanation. How else could it be so perfect?
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Severi, as you heard, and I'm from Finland. I've been 32 years old. Been doing the stuff that I do for around 5 years now, and I've been in the real world for 18 months. I
Mhm.
pretty close, yeah. On and off, been switching off, doing different stuff inside, doing copywriting, e-com. Um, yeah. Now I'm in the business mastery. I've been there for 6 months,
Mhm.
around there. That's my main thing.
Okay. Then you say doing what you've been doing for 5 years now. How much can you reveal in terms of what that is?
Yeah, I can reveal the whole thing. Basically I'm doing digital marketing. I'm doing Shopify online stores and email marketing, email automation. Basically anything that can help an online business to go the extra mile. It's like marketing agency is a wrong word. I think I prefer our thing to be more of a growth hacking thing. We use our time in wherever it is that we can be improving the online store. So not just digital marketing, but everything inside a online store.
Yep. And you say it's something you've been doing for 5 years. So how did the
Yeah.
real world actually help you with it? If you're saying you've been in the real world for 18 months, then I'd imagine you've gotten at least some value out of it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, absolutely. It's basically what we started off was we started doing our own first e-com stores with Shopify around 5 years ago. So it's been a rocky road from the beginning, and we built. I think we have built around 15 different stores, and like before I joined the real world in a way that we tried out different stuff and learned on the way without the actual instructions. But then after I joined the real world, I we started to go more in the direction of finding the new clients and how we can help out other people besides ourselves. So that's where the real world actually comes in more client acquisition and
Okay. So as a breakdown, as much as you remember, in terms of, let's say, month by month in those 18 months, of the lessons you learned, how you implemented them, the clients you acquired, would you be able to give a rough breakdown, again, of how much you remember going, not necessarily month by month, because 18 months is quite a bit, but maybe chunk them into significant stages throughout that time period?
You mean just my rules through the real world,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. How,
yeah,
again, the lessons you were learning, how you were
yeah,
implementing them, how they helped you, how you
yeah,
acquired clients, everything in that sense.
yeah. Well, first of all, I at the very beginning I started off with copywriting because I was interested in email marketing mostly and email automations and how because people these days tend to think email marketing as an old school system that doesn't really work out because there are Facebook advertisement, Instagram advertisement, TikTok, and stuff like that. But I then again see the email marketing as a very lucrative way of doing things because you have your own customers there and stuff like that. So I went to copywriting first and learned from Andrew about the ins and outs of how to make I don't know what's the word for it. Interesting is maybe the wrong word, but good outreach to people and how to keep them opening up your emails and how to keep them reading. So copywriting was my first thing that I did, and after that I switched on to business mastery, and then I started watching the sales mastery, outreach mastery, and well, yeah, those were the biggest ones that affected my road to where I am now. So I kind of used the copywriting campuses um, learnings and put those together with the outreach mastery of Arno, and then I started really getting more clients into my business. with those two. And of course, it's not that simple either, because the copywriting scene is pretty different when you learn it in English, and then, then when you have to translate it to Finnish and try to implement the same things. It doesn't always go like one to one with everything that
Mhm.
is taught. So it's been a pretty well, I would say a rocky road, but interesting route to try to get the things that are taught in English to actually work in Finnish. And also the customers are a bit different than in the US or
Right.
the bigger countries in Europe, because we only have like 5.5 million residents in Finland, so the advertising scene is all the way pretty different, because we don't have the mass that other countries have.
Mhm.
But yeah, thought that was my my road to business mastery and the campus of Arno.
Yeah. And in terms of different market, probably the culture is different as well, I'd presume, in Finland than
Yeah,
in somewhere like US.
definitely, yeah,
So it's different buying habits and spending habits.
yeah.
And in that sense, how did you optimize your copywriting for that then? How does that change?
Well, the culture is different in a way that in the Finnish people are not extremely outward. Is outward and word, like like to talk to people and hang out with people and stuff. We are pretty. We don't talk much and we don't like people a lot. So it's a bit of a different culture, but I got it implemented pretty nicely in a way that I could turn it out in a more Finnish way. That how you get them to open the, because the end game is pretty much the same. They all want to make more money. They just have to understand how they are now leaving money on the table, and how can I help them to
Mhm.
get that money from someone else's pocket to their pocket.
Right.
That's a phrase that I've been using a lot from Wolf of Wall Street. The only thing that matters is getting the money from their pocket to your own pocket. So,
Mhm. Fair enough. Okay. And in terms of clients, then, how did the real world help you acquire them?
well, it helped me a lot, because I didn't really have an until that we were pretty much just doing our own advertising for our own stores that we already had. We didn't really have like clients that we were helping to make sales in per se. So it really helped me a lot to understand that what is the actual, like, how does a well played outreach messages and sales pitches and everything, how do they really work out in the client's mind, that how do people consider those, because I always just consider them in a way that I send an email that, hey, I think I can help you make some more money, are you interested? And now that I've now that I've gone through these lessons, I really don't think that I would do it anymore. It doesn't really work out that way. It's That's not the
Wait, you're
right.
saying people don't want to make more money? I'm joking.
I think that people do want to make more money, but that's the
Yeah.
outreach. Maybe the biggest lesson that I got from Arno was that I have always been way too salesy in the way that I try to make contact. So I contact you and I try to sell you something right away. I have never like build any rapport, or I don't do small talk, because that's not the Finnish way of doing things. But that may be the biggest change that I've made in my outreach and all the communication I do with the clients, visit meetings or outreach and everything.
This is going to be a random question. How's the weather in Finland? Is it sunny or not? Because I'd imagine during winter, obviously, it's super dark, but during summer, is it at least somewhat sunny?
Well, I think we have a pretty wide scale of different weather. So, for example, now it's November 11, yeah, and it's around 0 degrees Celsius, and it's raining and it's foggy. So it's very. I use the phrasing in my campus when I tell people to get up and start running, that the weather is very UK in here at the moment. So it's foggy, raining, cold. But we do have, like, in the summer times we go around 30 degrees Celsius. So sunny, warm for about a month maybe.
For
And
a
the
month,
other
and then
parts of
back
the
to darkness
yeah, the other
and
parts of
rain.
the summer it's raining, and then now maybe a month from now we're gonna be in minus 25 degrees Celsius. So
Nice.
Yeah,
So I think it honestly does seem like weather affects people quite a bit. Because in somewhere
yeah,
like
yeah,
Spain, everyone's always happy, but it's
yeah. It
because
does.
there's
Yeah,
always sun. Whereas in
yeah,
other places where it's always dark, like you're not getting sun, so it's just more depressing, I guess. And people
yeah. It
reflect.
is. It is, and if you look at the, I've been watching a lot of listening to podcasts and watching videos about the neuroscientists doing their research, and it apparently it's not bullshit that
Yeah,
sun does have a lot of effects on your
yeah.
mood. So in Finland, at least in summertime, everybody is way more smiling and happy and more talkative than what they are
For
in
one
the
month,
cold
for one
November.
month
Yeah,
out of the year.
yeah. Because now we're basically the sun gets up at 10 a.m. and it goes down 4 p.m. So it's
No,
we don't really have it.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah, yeah, yeah,
wonder.
yeah.
All
Good
right,
stuff.
fair enough. But yeah, that's why I asked because it just seems has a bigger. And when you say you were watching podcast, what Andrew Huberman?
Yeah, Andrew Huberman and what's the other guy? Gary Brecka, the one with
Oh,
the nutrition and he is a fan of Wim Hof breathing and organic eating and stuff like that. But he's I don't think that he's a medical professional, but he used to do these researches for insurance companies, making the calculations on life insurances that how
mhm.
long do you live. So he has a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
things, and
Insight.
he's always talking about the sun. And well, Huberman is I like him a lot. He has a great points to make about the sun and basically everything that how do you program yourself, and that's
Mhm,
that's I've been doing a lot of the lessons that he thought about the like just rewiring your brain to
mhm.
function in a way that they should work because
Right.
it's
There
it's
was a interesting thing he said that I'm trying to implement now, where when you do work, don't think of it as you're working for an end goal.
yeah,
Actually, enjoy the process and tell yourself that you love doing this or you like doing
yeah,
this instead of
yeah,
actually trying to do it
yeah,
for something else. That's a
yeah.
more recent thing that is true, and I'm
It-
trying to implement myself.
yeah, and just the basic thing that you at all things that you do, you should be thinking that I get to do this, not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I have
exactly.
to do this. And it's all in your head because the I don't know how do you say it in English, but I mean that the the things that you think in your head and how you program yourself to think is that's actually what's going to happen. So if you think that this sucks, it will suck ass. It's gonna be awful. But if you think in a way that hey, I like this and this is I'm glad that I get to do this. I think it comes down to gratitude in a way that you
Mhm,
just have to be happy that you get to do
mhm.
things. You're alive and stuff like that.
All right, very well put. Yeah. Okay, cool. So nice, Andrew Huberman tangent. I like that.
Yeah.
And how different would you say your average day is since you've joined the real world? How has it changed? Because 18 months is quite a time period difference.
Yeah. And at the beginning when I joined the real world, I had my what's the right word? Like I wasn't sure about it. I
Skeptical.
me yeah me yeah skeptical me as well as everyone else on the internet probably thought that okay this is just some kind of a well, not a scam but a sketchy thing that it doesn't really work out. But then when I actually was it 18 months ago? When did it change from the Discord? Because I was on the Discord for a while and well anyway it
Around
doesn't matter.
exactly a year ago, or at most a year and a month ago, was when it
Yeah,
changed.
okay, yeah. But when I started, it was on Discord, and that's maybe what made it seem a bit sketchy at the beginning. Because I never used Discord before that, but then I started to go through the lessons, and at the beginning it was just me going through the lessons. I didn't engage in the chats or whatever. I was just checking them out and trying to implement those, and that happened during the whole copywriting course, and then actually I went to crypto after that to check that out. I was interested of it, but I was just looking at the lessons, and basically in the morning I spend around 90 minutes to look at the different courses, making notes, trying to see how it works out. And nowadays it's more in a way that I wake up in the morning, I jump in the real world. I go to the chats. I try to engage with people. I try to help out as many as I can because I have a lot of insight in a way for the things that I'm doing, and I'm trying to help people with their outreach and sales pitch and stuff like that. But it has changed in a way my days in a way that the time that I used to spend on social media like Instagram and TikTok, now I am spending most of my time in the real world I'm doing the lessons, or I am engaging with people, or I am trying to help them out. But yeah, it has changed my the course of my days in a way that I spend a lot of a lot of time inside the application.
Mhm.
It has been good. There's a lot of like-minded people, so it's a really good thing for pushing me forward is the fact that if I'm feeling that this doesn't really I don't really feel like it, then just go in there and someone is yelling at you that go fucking do it. So
David
it's a
Goggins
good thing.
style.
It's a good thing to have.
Mhm. Okay, very nice. And where was your life actually heading then before you joined the real world? What plans did you have, and have they changed since you've joined?
I didn't hear you. What did you
Plans,
say that?
like what
Ah,
plans, what trajectory were you heading in prior to joining, and then has that changed? Has your outlook changed since you've joined the real world? Is it heading in a different trajectory now, or fairly similar?
yeah, it has changed a lot. When I when I first joined, like to oh well, it's around 1.5 years, 2 years. I don't remember the exact dates, but I wasn't really doing that well. I had a job which I hated. I had the company for myself that we did do the stores for ourselves and try to build those, but it was a lot of effort, and I don't like to say that I was depressed, but I was feeling down in a way that I wasn't that interested of anything. I didn't really have any plans. I didn't really have anything to go for. I was just floating around, if that's a correct way to say it. I didn't really have a direction before I then I joined in, and yeah, it did change my perspective and my way of life a lot. I became accountable for the actions that I do, and actually I had to become accountable for actions that everybody else does as well. So it's just I learned that everything that happens is basically my own fault. So I used to be a bit of a martyr in a way that I was thinking that the world is against me, and everything happens for just for me. Everybody hates me. So now I don't think like that. I think that I am responsible for everything that happens. So it has helped me a lot,
Okay.
and it brought me more discipline. That's maybe the biggest thing. I used to sleep in late, went to bed late, watching Netflix, playing with my phone, and the first thing I did after I was implementing the courses in the real world was to start waking up at the same time and making my bed in the morning. That was the first thing that I did to switch myself to a disciplined person, and
Mhm.
I'm still doing it. I'm waking up at 5:45 every morning, and I'm making the bed, and then I start drinking water. So it's a lot of good habits have come from here in a way that being more being more responsible and taking responsible for everything.
Mhm. So yeah, waking up 5 hours before the sun rises, pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, but that's also winter times. You know, in the summer the sun
Yeah,
comes up at 5:30.
yeah, I'm joking, I'm joking. But yeah, very solid.
Yeah.
And with everything you've implemented from the real world, how is that translated monetarily? How much have you gained?
But basically, now that I have gone through the lessons that I know how to reach out people, and I know even better how to sell to them. We have raised our monthly revenue in. We have the stores that we do. That's a different story, but something that I can actually thank the real world like straight away is the amount of clients that we have on retainer monthly, and right now that is around 12 to 15,000 euros per month are the clients that we have. We have gotten in the last 6 months after actually started to work with the instructions given here.
Very solid. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and we
good.
are growing every month. We are getting a few thousands ahead. So we are aiming to be at 100k for each month. Not this year, but maybe next year.
Mhm.
But we are going forward all the time.
Very solid goal. I would like a bit more in depth on where do you see your life heading then? In the short term, medium term, long term? Now you said one of those is aiming for 100k months, but any other plans?
Well, that's the biggest plan that we have now is to go try to grow the business as much as possible in a way that we can get to the 100k. Because then when we get there, then we should have a lot of time and money to put in other places so we can implement those. Yeah, and I have a personal life as well where I do have goals regarding my family and stuff like that. But at the moment, the biggest goal I have is to reach the financial goals that has been set now, so we can get our other business started.
Oh, very fair. And that, I'd say, concludes the interview with a final question now. So, for people who are unsure about joining the real world, what advice would you have to them? Because maybe, like you, they think they're skeptical. Maybe they think it could be a scam. Yeah.
Yeah,
With your
yeah.
experience, what advice do you have for them?
I would definitely, if you are type of guy that you want to make stuff happen in your life and you are not satisfied at where you are right now in the real world, you can find like-minded people that will push you forward to those goals that you actually have. It can be basically anything, and you get enormous amount of help from other people in here. So I had issues at the beginning, and I got help from other people, and now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to actually help those guys, other guys, the new guys, to get forward in their life. And it doesn't have to be financial. It can also be like if you're not satisfied where you are mentally, there's also a lot of um, lessons about that how do you take back your own mind, and how do you get yourself working in a way that you want to work in your road to success. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's about it.
Got it. Okay. Um, Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. If people want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
They can do so in the real world. I'm always in the business mastery campus. I'm in the different chats. I'm trying to chat to everyone around there. So just please tag me in there, and I can have a conversation with you about anything that you like. It's the
Finish
best campus that there
Flash.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, Finnish Flash. You can. There's not many Finnish names in there, so it's not hard to tag me in there.
Mhm.
So, but everybody come check it out in the business master. It's the best campus that there is.
Is that so? Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
everybody knows this.
Self-proclaimed, of course.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, Severi again. Hope
Yes.
that was around.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty good.
Uh, it was interesting hearing your story. Let's do a follow-up in 3 to 4 months or so to
Yeah.
check back in,
Yeah.
see how you're
Absolutely.
progressing. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the conversation. Next time we can speak even more on the like whatever mindset side or um, mentality hacking. I don't know how else you'd call it from wherever you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Because
We
yeah,
can
first one's usually
definitely.
more centered around the real world, and then
Yeah.
second one, third one would just be literally about you and your life, or just other
Yeah.
talks. So yeah, what were you saying?
Definitely. I can talk for hours about the mind hacking stuff. I've been really deep into it
Mhm.
for the
Solid,
last month. Yeah.
solid, solid.
Absolutely. But thanks for having me. It was I was pretty nervous at the beginning because the native language is not English, but it was.
Done very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So wish you all the best until next time, and
Yes. You too.
goodbye.
Yes. Bye. See you.